Shalom. This brother Kazak Magun. First and foremost, want to give all honor and glory to the Most High Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. That's Yahweh, who the world ignorantly calls God, in the name of his son, Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. You know, so this gonna be a quick little video. I'm gonna try to keep doing these little quick videos, just to stay on fire. But right now we finna just be breaking down Galatians 3:28. Hey, we gotta break down these Christian strongholds, man. Let me get the precept on that real quick. Let's go to the book of Second Corinthians. Book of Second Corinthians. Salakia. Book of Second Corinthians, chapter 10 and verse 4. It says, "For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through the Most High to the pulling down of strongholds." So, hey, our weapons not carnal, but we out here, we using the true wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the Most High through that He gave us with these scriptures. You gotta sometimes you gotta dip into the Hebrew. Sometimes you gotta go in and get the context and go precept upon precept, like it says in Isaiah 28. So you get the true understanding, man. So that's how we break down these strongholds. So like that's how we break down these strongholds. That's how we break down these false philosophies and these false doctrines and ideologies, that come up out of the Christian church, because a lot of our people, they believe these things, and these things are nowhere in the Bible. When you got the true understanding, you'll see it. So let me read that again. This 2 Corinthians 10 and 4. It says, "For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through God to the pulling down of strongholds, casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalteth itself against the knowledge of God, and bringing into captivity every thought to be obedience. To the obedience of Hamashiach." So that's what we doing. So one of the strongholds that we finna break down right now is Galatians 3:28. Galatians 3:28, because a lot of people believe that all nations could be saved, and they try to run to this verse to try to justify it and to try to prove it. But little do they know they don't have the right understanding. So we're gonna get into it. Through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah. Lord willing, you get the true understanding of it. So this is the book of Galatians, chapter 3, verse 28. It says, Salaki, it says, Galatians 3:28, it says, "There is neither Jew nor Greek, there is neither bond nor free, there is neither male nor female, for ye are all one in Hamashiach Yahushai. And if you be Hamashiachs, and if you be Christ, then are ye Abraham's seed and heirs according to the promise." So it's saying, there is neither Jew nor Greek, and that's a stumbling block to a lot of people. They like, hold on, wait, that's a Jew nor Greek, so that means everybody could be saved. They say everybody, if you the seed of Abraham, and you can be saved because you in Christ now. But first off, who is it talking about? It's talking about there's neither Jew nor Greek. Because we gotta understand who these Greeks were, who these Greeks are. And first off, we gotta understand who did Yahweh Shai die for. So let's get a precept first to show who Yahweh Shai died for before we go any further. Let's go to the book of John, chapter 11 and verse 47. Salakia. Is that what I want? Salakia. Oh, I'm in Luke. Salakia. I'm tweaking. Book of John, chapter 11, verse 47. It says, "Then gathered the chief priests and the Pharisees a council and said, What do we? For this man doeth many miracles. If we let him thus alone, all men will believe on him, and the Romans shall come and take away both our place and our nation." And one of them named Caiaphas, being the high priest that same year, said unto them, "Ye know nothing at all." So, hey, the Pharisees and all the leaders right there of the Jews, back then of the Jews, they got it together. They had a little council, and it was like, hey, we gotta do something about this brother Yahweh Shai, because he getting all of these people doing all these miracles, and they believing on him, and the Romans gonna come to us like, what's going on, and they gonna take away our authority that we got over the people. So they was moving out of jealousy. They was moving really. That's moving real bad out of jealousy, you know. Um, Let me get a precept on that. You know, cause that envy, that's a big demon, man. You know, this the book of Proverbs, chapter 27 and verse 4. It says, "Wrath is cruel and anger is outrageous, but who is able to stand before envy?" You know. So hey, they was moving in real envy against Yahweh. You know, so let's keep going on that. Where would I leave off? Verse 49. It says, "And one of them, named Caiaphas, being the high priest that same year, said unto them, Ye know nothing at all, nor consider that it is expedient for us that one man should die for the people, and that the whole nation perish not." So it said, so Caiaphas, you know, he had prophesied earlier that year, like it's finna say, you know, that Yahweh Shai was gonna be the one to die for the people. You know, hey, he prophesied that Yahweh Shai was the one that Isaiah 53 is talking about. You know, the one being wounded for our transgressions. You know, being led as a sheep to the slaughter. You know, not saying a word. He's prophesied that was gonna be Yahweh Shai. You know, so let's verse 51, John 11 and 51, it says, "And this spake he not of himself, but being high priest that year, he prophesied that Yahweh Shai should die for that nation, and not for that nation only, but that also he should gather together in one the children of God that were scattered abroad." So he didn't only die for the Jews, he died for all the Israelites that were scattered abroad. Not just for the Jews, not just for the southern kingdom, but you know, he died for the northern kingdom, because they were scattered abroad through Arsaruth and through Assyria and all the other lands of their captivity and wherever they were sojourning. You know, he died for the scattered Israelites, the Jews that didn't know they was Jews, that was living like other nations. You know, which is what we finna get into. So let's go back to the book of Galatians and read it again, and then we gonna break down. You know, who are the Greeks? So now that we know who Yahweh Shai died for, so like, yeah, let's get one more precept on who Yahweh Shai died for. You know, gotta put the nail in the coffin, because some people be like, let's not talk about that. No, we gotta put the nail in the coffin, man. This is the book of Acts, chapter 5, and verse 30. So like, yeah, Acts 5 and 30, it says, "The God of our fathers raised up Yahweh Shai, whom ye slew and hanged on a tree. Him have God exalted with his right hand to be a prince and a savior, for to give repentance to Israel and forgiveness of sins." So he only died for Israel. So why would the Most High change and open the door for the other heathen nations to come in? You know, you got to think about that, because first off, the Most High don't change. Let's get a precept on the Most High not changing. Let's go to the book of James. Go to the book of James, chapter 1, and verse, I believe I want 17. So like it. Book of James, chapter 1 and 17. It says, "Every good gift and every perfect gift is from above, and cometh down from the Father of lights, which is the Most High, with whom is no variableness, neither shadow of turning." So that when it says "with whom is no variableness," that word variableness means turning. I mean, or changing. You know, hey, it's not no change with the Most High. He stays the same forever. You know, like it says in the book of Hebrews, chapter 13, Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, you know, is the same yesterday, today, and forever. You know, the sun don't even change. You know, the Most High, Malachi 3 and 6, I believe. You know, hey, he doesn't change. You know, he said, "I'm the Lord, I change not. Therefore, you sons of Jacob are not consumed." You know. So hey, let's go back. Let's go to Galatians. You know, so we finna break this down through the Spirit. Galatians 3 and 28 again. It says, "There is neither Jew nor Greek. There is neither bond nor free. There is neither male nor female, for ye are all one in Hamashiach Yahushai." So it's neither Jew nor Greek. You know, so who are the Greeks? We gotta realize, you know, that these Greeks are scattered Israelites. You know, these Greeks are scattered Israelites, and how do we prove that? You know, we gotta go into the Greek. You know, you gotta go into the Greek and get the word that's right there for Greek. So I got the blue letter pulled up. And that word for Greek is G1672. G1672. And that word is Helen. That word for Greek is Helen. Salakia. If you can see it. I know my tablet a little cracked up. That word for Greek, it says Helen. Let's get the definition of it. It says a Greek either by nationality, whether a native of the mainland or of the Greek islands or colonies. You know, so it says in a wider sense, the name embraces all nations, not Jews that made the language, customs, and learning of the Greeks their own. The primary reference is to a difference of religion and worship. So it says when you made the Greek Salakia, the Greek way of life your own way of life. When you adopted their way of life, you started worshiping their gods. You started eating the foods that they eat. You started partaking in the acts that they partake in. Now you a Greek. You're thinking in the mind of a Greek. Because right now, I mean, same case scenario. We call ourselves Americans. But we the Israelites. We the Israelites. But now we in the Gentile mindset. We in the American mindset. So we call ourselves American. We celebrate the 4th of July. We celebrate Christmas and New Year's and all these other Americanized holidays. But whole time, we are Israelites. We have our own heritage. We have our own gods. But we're Americanized because we don't know who we really are. And this happened back then. So let's go to the book of Second Maccabees. Because why was they calling themselves Greeks? It was an order that was put out. This is the book of Second Maccabees, chapter 6. Slakia, let me start at First Maccabees. This is the book of First Maccabees, chapter 1, and verse. Chapter 1 and verse 41. It says, moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people. So this is when the Greeks took over. And that wicked root that came out of the Greeks that you read about in Salakia, what is that? Daniel the 8th chapter, I believe. That wicked root that came out of them. That's Antiochus Epiphanes. And he was the one that came and conquered Israel. During the Greek reign. You know, so it says, moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people. So he tried to make all people one people. Same thing Esau was doing. Same thing Esau was doing back then. Esau doing it today, man. America, they try to tell you to come here and we can all be one people. They say this land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Islands and all of that. Hold on, man. This land is stolen from the so-called Native Americans, man. This land don't even belong to you. You came and stole this land. Now you trying to get everybody to be one people. You can't do that, Like it says in Habakkuk, he heaps to himself all people. Let's grab that. Matter of fact, the book of Habakkuk, or how you would say Habakkuk. The book of Habakkuk, chapter 2 and verse 5. It says, yeah, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlarges his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. So he heapeth unto him all people. He want the East Indians with him, under his reign. He want the Chinese, which would be the Moabites. He want them under his reign. He want the Japanese. He want the Arabs under his reign and all of that. He heaps to himself all people. So let's go to Second Maccabees now. Because Antiochus, he wrote that all people should be one people. So if they all had to be one people, they had to take on the Greek way of life. They had to live like Greeks now, and he made it unlawful for you to keep your own traditions. Your own family traditions. Let's get that. This is the book of Second Maccabees, chapter 6, and I'm gonna start at 1. It says, not long after this, the king sent an old man of Athens to compel the Jews to depart from the laws of their fathers and not to live after the laws of God. So he was like, hey, don't keep don't keep them Jew laws no more. Hey, y'all finna live after the Greek laws now. You finna worship Zeus. You finna worship Jupiter. You finna worship Hercules. You know, you're not finna be telling your kids about Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob no more. You finna be telling them about damn Aphrodite and damn what's some other one, Perseus and all of them, and Odysseus and all of those other Greek gods and all that. You ain't finna be telling them about them. You know, you gotta forsake your heritage, and that's what they tried to get us to do. They made us forsake our own heritage, so we had to pick up theirs. You know, it says, I'm gonna jump down to five. Verse 6. It says, neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days or ancient feasts. So we couldn't even keep the Sabbath. You know, which is one of the 10 Commandments. We couldn't even keep that. We couldn't keep the high holy days. Wasn't no keeping the Passover. You know, wasn't no keeping the feast of tabernacles, all of that. Hey, with Antiochus Epiphanes, and when the Greeks came in, all that was out the window. You know, they was putting people to death if they catch you keeping your ancient laws and feasts back then. You know, so our people, we wasn't allowed to do that. You know, it says, this second Maccabees 6:6, it says, neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days or ancient feasts, or to profess himself at all to be a Jew. So if you couldn't call yourself a Jew, they made it unlawful for you to call yourself a Jew. So what was they making you call yourself? A Greek. Hey, they was making you call yourself a Greek, man. That's what that word Hellen means. No, meaning you Hellenized, meaning you under the Greek, you under a Greek mindset. You living like you part of the Greeks. You know, you Hellenized. So let's go back to Galatians. Let's go back to the book of Galatians. It's likely to pass it up. Galatians chapter 3 and verse 28 again. It says, there is neither Jew nor Greek. There is neither bond nor free. There is neither male nor female. For ye are all one in Hamashiach Yahushai. So now we realize that, you know, who is talking about. It's saying there is neither Jew nor Greek. There is neither bond nor free. There is neither male nor female. For ye are all one in Hamashiach Yahushai. So, you know, even if you know you're a Jew, you know, you can't put yourself over the Greeks just because they call themselves a Greek, you know, because they still an Israelite. You know, it says we all one in Hamashiach Yahushai. It's going into social statuses. That's what this verse is really going into. It's not going into nationalities. It's going into social statuses. You know, if you know you're a Jew, you living like a Jew. If you know you're a Greek, you living like, if you know if you think you're a Greek, but you whole time an Israelite, you living like a Greek. You know, because you don't know you're an Israelite yet. You was discontinued from your heritage, which was part of the curses. You know, but you can't put yourself over that brother that's believing he's a Greek, that's living like a Greek, because he an Israelite too. You know, he got every right to come back into this fold and keep the high holy days just like you do. You know, just because you know your nationality, you know you're a Jew, and he don't know he a Jew. Hey, that don't put you over him. That don't make you better than him. You know, that brother got just as right. Yahweh Shai died for that brother. You know, it says there's neither bond nor free, there's neither male nor female, for ye are all one in Hamashiach Yahushai. So, hey, whether you're a Jew or a Greek, you know, whether you're a native-born Israelite or if you're an Israelite born in Rome, born in Italy, and raised up like unto those people that was over there, you know, and not raised up in your true homeland, learning your true heritage. Hey, you still an Israelite and you still one in Hamashiach Yahushai, and you still got the right to repent. You know. Salakia. See, did I have another precept? Um, let's go to the book of Ephesians. You know, let's go to the book of Ephesians, chapter 1, verse 11. It says, wherefore remember that ye being in time past Gentiles in the flesh, who are called uncircumcision by that which is called the circumcision in the flesh made by hands. You know, so it's saying, how can you be time past Gentile? How can you be? Because the word Gentile just really goes back to nation. You know, so you was in time past called another nation. You know, but now you're not another nation. How is that? Same thing with us. I'm gonna come back to that same analogy. Same thing with us. We call ourselves American. We not American. We Hebrew Israelites. We from the land of Israel. We just over here serving the prison sentence in captivity. You know, So, but we not American, but we call ourselves American because we live the American way of life. We live American lifestyles, you know. So that's how even back then, you know, they was time past Gentiles. You know, because what they was living like Gentiles, but what they was Hebrew Israelites. You know, just scattered to other countries, raised in them other countries, living like the people from them other countries that's native to those other countries. But whole time you an Israelite. You know, you got your own heritage. You know, you got your own God that you can serve. You know. I'm gonna read that again. It says, "Wherefore remember that ye being in time past Gentiles in the flesh, who are called uncircumcision by that which is called the circumcision in the flesh, made by hands." You know, so you was being called uncircumcision. You know, by the people that was circumcised. You know, which would be the people that was native born in the land of Judea that knew they was Jews. You know, they'll look at you different. You know, they'll look at you different if you was an outsider. You know, if you was a stranger. But the Lord said we can't treat the stranger different. The Lord put that in the law. Let's get that. That's the book of Leviticus. Leviticus chapter, I want to say 25. Leviticus chapter 25 and 35. It says, "And if thy brother be waxing poor and falling in decay with thee, then thou shalt relieve him, yea, though he be a stranger or a sojourner, that he may live with thee. Take thou no usury of him, or increase, but fear thy God, that thy brother may live with thee." So you know, hey, even if he a stranger, you know, say you live in the land of Judea, you know, you living in the southern kingdom, and another Israelite, you know, he poor, you know, he kind of like a vagabond, just traveling from country to country, trying to find, you know, somewhere to lay his head and all that, you know. He come all the way from, let's say he came from Rome, you know, came all the way back to his homeland. You know, he's still a brother. You know, you got to treat that brother accordingly, because like he's still a brother, because the Lord just put that in the law. You know, if he poor and falling in decay with thee, you know, hey, we got to take him on as like a hired servant. You know, we can't treat him like a slave. You know, and we can't even exact usury of him. You know, we can only exact usury of the heathens. You know, Salakia. Khan. Yeah, that's what I wanted with that. Um, let's go back to the Ephesians though, and then I'm gonna get a couple more, and I'm gonna close out. But going back to Ephesians chapter 1, because we got to break down these Christian strongholds, man. The Lord is not dealing with no other nation. Ephesians chapter 1 and verse 12 now. It says that at that time ye were without Hamashiach, being aliens from the commonwealth of Israel. How can you be an alien from the commonwealth of Israel? You was born in another land. You didn't know that you didn't know that your land, you know, your land come with a whole heritage, you know, that you departed from, or that your parents made it departed from, because they raised you over here. You know, they raised you in damn Cappadocia. They raised you in Antiochia. You know, they raised you in damn Tarsus, or Cilicia, or whatever, one of them other Roman countries or Greek countries. You know, you got raised over there. You know, you was an alien from the commonwealth of Israel. You know, you was away from the main flock. You know, you was kind of scattered sheep. You know, it says that at that time you were without Hamashiach, being aliens from the commonwealth of Israel and strangers from the covenants of promise, having no hope and without God in the world. You know, so it says you was a stranger. You know, you was a stranger from the covenant. It says, "But now in Hamashiach Yahushai, ye who sometimes were far off are made nigh by the blood of Yahushai." You know, because what, he came to die for the whole nation. Hey, we just read in John 11 and 47 through 51 that he came to gather together all those that were scattered abroad. You know, him dying on that cross opened the door for those other brothers and sisters that scattered abroad. You know, that's not living according to the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Lord, but living according to these heathen nations. You know, and their ways of life. You know, that opened the door for them to come back. How can you be alienated? You know, let's get that. Let's go to the book of Ezekiel. I believe I won't. Let's see. Salakia. Khan, the book of Ezekiel, chapter 23, and Salakia. I want chapter 14. Bear with me. If not, then it's 23 for sure. Con. This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 14 and verse 5. It says, that I may take the house of Israel in their own heart, because they are all estranged from me through their idols. So how we is estranged from the Most High through our idols, serving other gods, living in these other lands and serving the gods of those other lands. Hey, like you read in the book of Acts, people were serving the god of Diana. You also read in the book of Acts, they was calling, when Paul was traveling out throughout all of these lands, they was calling Paul Jupiter, and calling Barnabas Mercurius or something like that. Or it might have been the other way around, calling Paul Mercurius and Barnabas Jupiter. You know, they was doing that because we was worshiping other gods. Our people was into that idolatry heavy, and that estranged us away from the Most High. Because if we serve other gods, we can't be serving our God. You can't have two masters. No man can have two masters. Like the Lord said in the book of Matthew chapter 6. So let me read that again. This is the book of Ezekiel chapter 14 and verse 5. It says, that I may take the house of Israel in their own heart, because they are all estranged from me through their idols. So yeah, man, we just got to realize that the Lord is only dealing with Israel. Let me get a couple precepts on that, then I'm going to go ahead and close out. Let's go to the book of Psalms, chapter 147 and 18. Psalms 147 and 18. It says, he showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. He have not dealt so with any nation, and as for his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye Yahweh. So it says the Lord has not dealt so with any other nation, man. Let's get another precept, another nail in the coffin. Joel 2 and 27. Joel 2 and 27. And like I said earlier, like the Bible say, the Lord doesn't change, man. If he was only dealing with Israel in the beginning, he's only dealing with Israel in the end. That's just something that these Christians just gotta face, man. You can't invite master to the damn table, man. You can't have master at the table, man. Hey, master gotta go into slavery, man. Hey, the so-called white man and the East Indian man and the Arab man, all of them, they getting put to death. If not, and they going their ass into slavery, man. So Joel 2 and 27, let's get that. Because the Lord is only dealing with Israel. It's like y'all keep passing it up. I don't know if you know, man. The book of Joel, chapter 2, verse 27. It says, and ye shall know that I am in the midst of Israel, and that I am the Lord your God, and none else. And my people shall never be ashamed. So he said he the Lord our God, and none else. With that, I want to be all honor and glory to the Most High Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Lord willing, somebody was edified. Be Israel a hearty shalom.